Death Battle, Killua versus Misaka. Hunter versus Hacer Magic. Un poco me gusta el nombre en inglés. Raro, pero es que Certain no me queda bien. No sé por qué Certain Magical no me gusta. Tuaro Mayutsu, no sé, será por la costumbre, pero bueno. Death Battle. El doble de gente que va a ganar Misaka, y tenéis razón. O sea, ya lo dije, no, o sea, Misaka está muy rota. Misaka está muy rota. O sea, pero me he dado cuenta de algo, con la cual Killua gana de paliza. A Luca. Y diréis que no es... No, pero técnicamente, literalmente lo dijo su hermano. Killua tiene a Luca. Si coges eso, Killua es básicamente Dios. O sea, no hay personaje más roto actualmente en el manga que Killua si contamos a Luca. Si contáis a Luca como arma de Killua, entonces gana de paliza. Literalmente son Dragon Balls activas. O sea, no hay personaje más roto que ese personaje actualmente en Dragon Ball. En Dragon Ball. En Hunter x Hunter. Literal. Os reto a decirme otro. Vale, ponemos velocidad y subtítulos. Opciones. Sí, ¿por qué no se traduce automáticamente? Traduce automáticamente. Ahí está. En español. Que funciona bastante bien. Vamos allá.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp and HelloFresh.
Se hacer trampas, ya, pero es que es la única manera.
Killua Zoldyck, Hunter x Hunter's prodigious lightning assassin.
Misaka Mikoto, Academy City's ace electric princess.
Question: what is more terrifying than the all-powerful crackling might of lightning?
Lightning in the hands of cocky, hyper-talented teenagers. Oh, the worst combination. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The Zoldicks, a vicious family of assassins known the world over. So infamous for their killing techniques, a single photo of any member sells for millions.
You don't want to be the target of their next family outing, but like all families, there's bound to be a rebel.
As was the case with the middle child, Killua.
They seriously...
Tiene gracia lo de las fotos, porque en la saga del Coliseo tenían problemas de fondos al punto en el cual Gon vendió su tarjeta de Hunter, cuando básicamente podían hecho una sesión de fotos a Killua y hacerse ricos.
Named him Kill? Hardcore.
Well, it might be a pun on the term kilowatt, but kill is apt, given he's been trained in past tensing people since he was 3.
I'll say, at age 14, he was strong enough to open a 64-ton door. Geez, what kind of workout did his family put him through?
Yeah.
Somehow, it gave him 6 skater skills, extendable claws, and rhythm echo, a technique that lets him fool people's senses with just his feet.
More accurately, by manipulating the cadence of his footsteps, Killua can
No
create an
funciona
auditory
con
illusion,
Misaka.
capable of tricking even extrasensory abilities.
Killua was a heck of a prodigy,
No
but
funciona.
despite being able to effortlessly rip out hearts, his family still thought he wasn't cold-blooded enough.
Fed up,
Es que aunque Killua tenga la habilidad esta de que nadie lo puede sentir, de que se haga invisible técnicamente, Misaka tiene literalmente un escudo de rayos. Pasivo, se podría decir. Y sí, Killua también es más o menos inmune a la electricidad, pero así, gracias a ese sensor que tiene la hija de puta, Killua no puede hacerse invisible contra ella. O sea, todo lo que tiene Killua, Misaka lo puede contrarrestar. Es absurdo.
ran away, not to the circus, but to the Hunter Association, an association of people who hunt stuff. There, he tested himself in the Hunter's exam and inevitably had gone head over heels for his new friend, Gon. Get it?
Oh, God, Wiz, are you still
Ya,
taking
pero la
those
técnica de la
waste of time
moneda
improv classes?
Yes,
es
and
muy lenta
I
para
think it's
golpear a
going
Killua.
Mm-hmm. Killua's family didn't like him making friends, so they sat him down and then calmly and politely tortured him mercilessly as punishment. It was only thanks to Gon that Killua finally convinced his old man to let him go out on adventures with his buddies.
But this change of heart was no act of compassion. Killua's father saw his freedom as just another step in molding him into a better killer. And in some ways, he was right. Through his adventures,
Sí.
Killua learned Nen, an invisible life force that...
Yeah, it's key. It's always key.
No, no es Ki. Es más avanzado. El Ki es... No. Pero me sigue pareciendo un gran fallo de este manga eso. O sea, que entrenasen a Killua desde el principio al punto en el cual lo llevaron a la torre, siendo los que son, y nunca desbloqueó Nen, Killua. Killua debería haber desbloqueado el Nen. O tener una base muy básica de eso, aunque no supiese que la tiene. Es ridículo que Killua no supiese Nen, porque básicamente la pusieron de golpe el Nen. O sea, el problema del Nen es que está y no está. No tenemos a Hisoka y todo eso, pero... Hay personajes que deberían saber del Nen.
Actually, this one's a bit more complicated. You see, Nen is utilized through 4 main principles. Ten for containing your aura while defending from physical and mental attacks. Zetsu for relieving fatigue and masking your presence. Ren for bolstering strength and influencing emotions.
That's pretty standard so far.
And Hatsu, the unique way in which one's Nen is expressed. This comes in many forms, but all fall into one of 6 types, which represent how proficient a Nen user is at certain techniques.
So it's an RPG class system?
More like a hybrid class system, because most users actually fall somewhere between 2 categories, giving them differing degrees of proficiency. Techniques from these Nen categories can even be further enhanced by adding rules to their use. Oh, then there are the advanced principles, which...
Oh god, okay, I get it.
But we haven't even talked about Killua's Hatsu yet. Killua is a transmuter enhancer, i.e. he specializes in transmuting his aura into different forms and enhancing the power of himself and others. He uses his
Y voy
aura...
a ponerle un punto, macho. Como habéis dicho, la energía, el kit de este anime, está en tenerlo, no tenerlo, potenciarlo y el quirk. Tal cual. Pero es que luego todo es el quirk. Hay muy pocas veces en la cual se usa otra cosa. Pero sí, básicamente tiene las 4 funciones básicas. Pero claro, la trampa es la última. El quirk. Es que rompe mucho el esquema.
He makes lightning!
Sí.
Yes, in Killua's hand, lightning becomes a deadly weapon that he can fire down as a bolt, channel through his arms, or send through metal objects.
Like his super alloy yo-yos. These bad boys weigh up to 50 kilograms. See, that's how you make a pun, Wiz. Packing enough force to shatter trees like I just shattered Wiz's confidence.
Add in Killua's lightning, and he can electrify anyone who touches them.
And this isn't some magicy-smagicy lightning. His bolts have been identified as the real deal more than once.
Meaning Killua is certainly as fast as actual lightning, especially when he uses it on himself
Podrías
to bust out
tunearlo.
Godspeed,
Okay.
a form that greatly amplifies his agility and power, letting him bypass his synapses to reflexively react to threats.
For regular folk, that much
Casi
voltage would be too
instantáneo.
much. But thanks to Killua's training, he can shrug off over 1,000,000 volts of electricity.
He's also exceptionally crafty. In a Nen fight, every move matters, and strategy almost always triumphs, even against greater strength.
Killua used these powers to battle world-renowned thieves, bomber mercenaries, and ants.
That may not sound like much, but these chimera ants were brutal, murdering and eating people by the hundreds of thousands, then threatening billions. That reminds me of an old experiment. Gone horribly wrong.
Killua understandably wanted to bail, but Gon pulled him back in, much to his frustration.
Como
Killua
siempre.
wanted to be there for Gon emotionally, but could not comprehend why he was risking so much against the chimera ants, going as far as becoming a monster.
In other words, Killua was crushing really hard, but didn't know what to do about Gon's simple-minded impulsiveness. It didn't end well for anyone.
It wasn't all doom and gloom.
Aluka,
Killua held his own
se
against some
viene.
of the chimera ants' best, surviving this
No.
forest-consuming blast from one of their captains.
Which, judging by its size, was worth several kilowatons.
And he later injured a top-ranking royal guard, Yuppie.
Sure, he ran for the hills the
Lo
moment
medio
Godspeed wore
esquivo,
off,
pero
and
lo
isn't
que tú
as
digas,
strong as the weird
empezamos.
horseman. But even just damaging someone who can make a crater like this is nothing to sniff at.
But amidst all the
No
fighting,
lo
Killua
hice
still could
daño,
not get his
no
family
le
out of his
hizo, ya
mind.
están cagando, no le hizo daño a la hormiga, lo estuneaba. Es algo muy diferente. Gracias al poder del rayo, Killua estuneaba a ese bicho. Porque básicamente son putos rayos. Es como, no puedes decir que soy más fuerte que un boxeador si por pura chiripa, por potra, le doy un golpe en el mentón y lo dejo KO. No soy más fuerte, he tenido suerte. Hay muchos factores ahí. Killua, con los rayos, electricitaba a ese bicho y lo dejaba estuneado, pero no le hacía daño. Y se lo dice Killua y lo dice el bicho, no le está haciendo daño, sencillamente lo está estuneando. Porque al fin y al cabo Killua nada más quería desahogarse. Ese bicho estaba muy roto, ese puta bicho.
Literally.
As in, his brother, Ilumi, put a needle in his head, forcing him to be controlled by self-preservation, ensuring he'd always run when victory isn't guaranteed. Wiz, you think you can call CPS for that?
Thankfully, after some much-needed self-surgery and self-reflection, Killua removed it, overcoming his mental barrier and ready to risk his life for those he cherishes.
Which he did when he finally got himself and his dear sister Aluka away from their demented
Aluka.
family. He even brought Gon back from the brink of his creepy Nen coma.
But despite how valuable Gon was as a friend, Killua realized his unhealthy dependence on him.
So he decided to travel with and protect Aluka.
Sí, también es muy gilipollas. Se supone que deja a Gon porque no tiene que tener dependencia de él, pero luego tiene dependencia de Aluka.
Finally realizing what he wants to do for the rest of his life. Oh god, the tearful romantic parting.
Still, if Gon or Aluka ever need help, Killua is sure to come running.
Ready to Killua anyone dumb enough to mess with him or those he cares about.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
It can be easy to spend all your time on your work, your friends, your family. Smart enough to do whispers.
Se viene.
Academy City, a sprawling metropolis
Me
filled with
gusta mucho una
schools.
cosa. Hunter x Hunter y Toriyama Misonientes posiblemente sean de los mejores mundos de ficción que podéis leer. En serio. Quitando el anime no está tan bien hecho y la temporada 1 y 2 se puede, la tercera temporada es una puta mierda, pero Toriyama Misonientes es un mundo maravilloso. En serio, qué buen lore tiene.
Espers trained to master their supernatural abilities.
Most of these youngins dream of
Tenemos
rivaling
más
the
a
best espers, but only a few are hardworking and smart enough to do it.
Among them being Tokiwa Dai Middle School's Level 5 Electro Master, Misaka Mikoto.
Level 5, so she's a Pokemon but an anime girl.
Each Esper's power and utility is ranked, with Level 5 being the highest they can normally achieve.
Acelerato.
And after working up to that
Misaki
level,
vende
Misaka became
manchins.
unstoppable. She can magnetize herself to metal, electrically enhance her physique, sense her surroundings through an electromagnetic radar, and generate billions of volts.
In addition, she can make iron sand from disparate particles in the air to form tornadoes, body decoys, or sword that vibrates at rapid speeds for enhanced serious cutting power.
Just what an anime girl needs, a chainsaw. Man, if she gets serious, Misaka can even make a friggin' 6 million ton kaiju out of it.
With such tremendous power, Misaka put an end to many crimes, earning fear among criminals, admiration among her peers, and lots of personal pride in her abilities. There was nothing she couldn't overcome.
Nothing except the bane of all tsunderes, a frizzy-haired, dumbass anime protagonist.
Enter Kamijo Toma, a level 0 nobody who Misaka could not harm, no matter how many times she tried.
Oh, I hate you, but I secretly love you, and it'll work out in the end. Shut up! But she'd have more than a dork like Toma to worry about. As amazing as Academy City is, it's more corrupt than New York real estate. Years ago, Misaka gave some shady scientists a sample of her DNA, being promised it'd help cure tons of fatal diseases.
Instead, they made tens of thousands of clones of her, sending them all to be slaughtered one by one.
Specifically against another level 5 and A-tier edgelord named Accelerator. By farming all these clones, they hoped he would finally get enough EXP to become a mythic level 6. Is that seriously all it takes? How does this Esper stuff work?
I'm glad you asked. Espers represent the scientific side of the world, a side I'm so familiar with. All Espers possess an involuntary movement or AIM diffusion field that manifests their power, letting them consciously alter reality.
Changing reality with your mind. Isn't that just magic?
Au contraire, Boomstick, it's quite scientific. Look at Misaka's signature move, the railgun. Many real-life railguns use a set of parallel conductors to generate Lorentz force. By envisioning imaginary rails between herself and her target, Misaka can create a similar yet greater effect, accelerating the speed and kinetic force of a projectile, usually a coin, into a concussive bullet. It's beautiful. It's science.
How long are you going to be nerding out over this?
Come on, this is like my one thing. Where was I? Oh yeah, thousands of dead clones. Traumatized by the endless slaughter, Misaka felt enormous guilt. You see it all the time with horrific experiments.
Sure, buddy.
She worked for days to end the clone project, but concluded it would have to end with her sacrifice.
But Toma butted in, giving Misaka the support she needed in her darkest hour, while also punching out albino Magneto with his Esper-proof fist.
Misaka had shouldered her burden for so long that she forgot how to rely on others. This wake-up call from her newfound crush was exactly what she needed.
But even with Accelerator decelerated, Misaka kept fighting Academy City's underbelly, all to protect her friends and free her sister clones she befriended. She dealt with a lot of trouble on the way, but had the power to do it.
In her battle with a killer cyborg lady, Misaka conjured a city-spanning storm, which, by measuring the size of the cloud relative to the city, would require over 58 kilotons of energy to make.
Kilotons. She's also fought other level 5s, not just Accelerator. She got into a middle school beef with a snobby telepath, fought this explosive weirdo, and dodged particle beams from an unhinged Karen.
The electrons of which can accelerate to high relativistic speeds.
It's no shock. Misaka's reactions are that fast, given her lightning has been stated to be light speed on 5 different occasions.
Velocidad de reacción a light speed. Killua no llega a ese nivel. Es que todo lo que es Killua, Misaka es superior. Lo acaban de decir en todo. A secas. Lo único que la cual Killua es más fuerte, es lo que dije. Es que es más fuerte. En fuerza física. Es su única ventaja. Pillarla por sorpresa. Su única puta ventaja. Pero es que no lo tiene.
Than just her powers, though, Misaka's greatest asset is her intellect.
It might not look it, but high-level Espers constantly perform tons of nerd math just to make their powers work.
And understanding other powers has been just as vital to Misaka's survival. Take her bout with the magic Valkyrie, Brunhild.
Remember when Wiz said Espers were the science side of the world? Well, these weirdos are packing the magic. A single mistake from Misaka could have meant death, but she still stalemated Brunhild.
Now, Brunhild was still stronger and faster, but it is impressive Misaka was able to harm a saint, who are normally only deployed against foes capable of leveling mountains. One such foe, Hell, froze 100 kilometers of ocean.
You'd think this means Misaka can take on all sorts of magical baddies. But alas, the power creep says otherwise.
He's actually serious. When you're dealing with crazy magicians and magic gods, even a level 5 Esper struggles to keep up. Misaka valued her abilities so highly that she struggled to maintain her self-esteem when they weren't enough.
A shame Misaka cares so much about getting stronger when Toma appreciates her as a person first and foremost.
While certainly a flaw, that ever-persistent hard-headedness will also keep Misaka around, no matter the stakes.
So watch out, because this pint-sized 14-year-old is quite literally a walking railgun.
Sí. Vale, no han hablado de la parte en la cual entra en coma y se despierta en nivel 6. Aunque uno de esos es verdad, o solo es un mito.
Delicious recipes on the HelloFresh menu.
Y tampoco es de su pantalla, pero bueno, da igual. Ok. Bajamos la velocidad.
Are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Uy, capo.
Hey, that's mine. I've been looking for it all day. Give it here.
You want it? Come and get it.
Ah, bien, claro, sí. Pero que la regla no le va a golpear.
I had a butler who used these.
Sí. Bueno. No. Vale, full acción, ¿ok?
Focus. It's a trick of sound.
Lo mata.
Outside.
La pelea no va a estar buena visualmente.
Gotcha. He's good at hand-to-hand. Better keep my distance.
She has stronger lightning. Gotta get in close.
No problem.
Claro. Ah, puro fanservice, ya os conmigo. Tiene que haberlo serio. Pelea puro fanservice, ¿no? No va a estar bien hecha, pero puro fanservice.
No time to break.
La música está buena. Claro que sí.
Now's my chance.
Ah, taparlo.
You don't know when to quit.
Ah, callo. Vale. Tienes que gastar las últimas, claro. He dicho, ¿perdona?
Catch this.
She's keeping this thing together with electromagnetism, meaning it can be disrupted.
No.
Wait a minute.
Distance,
Oh!
35 meters. Altitude, 45.
¿Cómo
Holding
coño es eso?
now.
¿Desde cuándo hace un clon, Misaka? ¿Perdona? ¿Esta habilidad dónde la tiene? ¡Ah, qué guapo! ¡Ese no lo he visto venir!
Science. It's.
All right, take a breather there, champ.
Whew. While Killua's assassin training made him a vicious threat, Misaka's abilities and
whoa.
know-how gave her the counter she needed in this mind-numbing battle of wits.
Killua could survive kilowatt-ton level blasts, and given some leeway, could scale to Yuppie, whose crater feat was worth 18 megatons of TNT.
Impressive, but the storm Misaka created beat anything Killua has done directly. And given similar scaling to Brunhild, who Misaka not only harmed but stalemated, her output could reach hundreds of megatons of TNT. Meaning, no matter which numbers are used, Misaka would always have the advantage in raw electrical power.
Da igual
No
lo que
surprise there.
intentes,
Killua
es
may have
mejor.
shrugged off a million volts of electricity, but Misaka can dish out and survive billions.
Still, both characters have contended with and harmed stronger opponents, and the two power systems they work under have allowed weaker opponents to defeat stronger ones in the past.
So might alone wouldn't net either a win. Plus, Killua was way better at hand-to-hand and physically stronger.
Knowing his
so-
crafty assassin skills, things could have gone south for Misaka if she wasn't careful.
But fortunately for the railgun, she was. Her fight with Brunhild shows she knows how to deal with tough, up-close threats while keeping her distance.
And being able to dodge particle beams meant Misaka was more than fast enough to react to even Killua's lightning-quick speed.
Add to that her bigger pool of powers, and she had plenty of ways to counter Rhythm Echo, since Killua was lightning, or just pin him in place long enough to pull off a railgun finisher. Killua was strong, but he wasn't gonna outmuscle 6 million tons of iron sand.
Killua was a prodigy in all things Nen, lightning, and killing, but Misaka's varied electro powers, quick reflexes, and scientific
Lo sabía.
brilliance let her cash in a win.
Pero vamos a
But
ver al
hey,
final.
at least she
La
let
pelea no me
Killua
estaba gustando
keep
porque era
the
muy
change. She Killua
fanservice.
him.
Pero
The winner is Misaka Mikoto.
el final lo he visto venir, me ha gustado. Aunque no sabía qué habilidad tenía, pero bueno.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have a new death battle releasing
Siguiente.
every 2 weeks this
Dale.
year. And click the join button to get new perks and extra content. Planet level members even see death battles before anyone else, so don't miss out.
En serio. Hace falta decirlo. Es un personaje de cómic. Ya sabéis quién gana. Y técnicamente creo que Rocket gana incluso con las películas nomás. Solo por la inteligencia. O sea, Stitch no es que sea tonto, pero Rocket es muy listo. Literalmente. Así que no hay en lo cual Stitch... A ver, Stitch es mucho más fuerte físicamente. Es una de sus particularidades, ¿no? El 626. Pero solo es eso. Es como literalmente esta pelea otra vez. O sea, es literalmente la misma pelea. Solo es más fuerte Stitch, físicamente hablando. Solo. Es lo único que tiene. Pero Rocket es demasiado versátil. Demasiado, a secas. Da like. Joder, Stitch se muere con agua, tío. Es que no...